Alright, this is Hamish Patterson, candidate for Malibu City Council. I suppose it's time to let you know exactly where I stand on the issues facing the city of Malibu. First of all, let me state that one of the first votes I've ever taken as a voting adult was for cityhood, to make Malibu a city. And basically the reason we became a city was to fight off the sewers that were being imposed upon us because those sewers were needed for large-scale development. And that's why we became a city. So I sit down here and make my message at the Malibu Lagoon because ultimately this is the future of our community or the past of our community. You know, Malibu's faced with a lot of difficult decisions to make here really quickly. The first one is whether we as a city and a community are going to allow our beloved Malibu Lagoon to be bulldozed and replaced by some sort of unknown experiment. Now, if you begin to look into the reports, the data, the science, there's nothing really wrong with the lagoon. The only thing truly wrong with the lagoon is the Tapia water treatment plant, which is just over the hill from here, that discharges into the Malibu Creek approximately 5 months out of the year. Now, as a councilman, my first priority would be to get the city behind stopping this bulldozing project here in the lagoon. I think that it appears to just be an environmental issue, but it's tied into something much bigger, and that's the sewer issue for the Cross Creek area. I mean, unbeknownst to most residents who live in Sarah Retreat, the Colony, and the Old Road area, they'd be forced to tie into this sewer. And the sewer is basically so that large commercial developments can take place in a community that doesn't need large commercial developments. You know, that's our future we need to decide as a community. Are we going to allow ourselves to become a retail destination or remain a family-friendly community where one would want to come and raise their children and enjoy their life? You know, Malibu is a truly special place, especially since we're surrounded by one of the largest urban areas in the world. You know, we have unfettered access to the ocean, to the Santa Monica Mountains, and here we sit. Do we want large-scale commercial development for the sake of benefiting a few individual property owners at all of ours expense? I mean, Malibu's not made up of commercial property owners. Malibu's made up of residents who live here, who enjoy living here. And I see that the destruction of the lagoon is just the tip of the spear for the destruction of Malibu as a whole in the larger sense. I mean, once the lagoon project goes through, that makes way for the sewer project, which makes way for development in the Cross Creek area. And if you begin to hear the murmurings that are coming from the present city council, which is basically opaque, we have no idea as the community what's going on in city council chambers behind closed doors. Apparently there's large plans for sewer developments, and we as the public aren't being informed about it. You know, that's my main reason for getting involved in the city council election. Is someone needs to get in there and open up the books and tell the public exactly what's going on. Because from the outside perspective, all I see is people making money off our community at our expense. You know, I think Malibu's an awesome place to raise a family. It's an awesome place to live. It's an awesome place to experience nature. But there are certain entities in our community that just see it as low-hanging fruit, man, for them to develop and exploit at their whim. You know, we as a community need to stand up and stop the destruction of Malibu. And that's what this is. Most people up in the Point Dume, Malibu West, and Trancas area seem to think that Cross Creek's problems are Cross Creek's problems. Well, they're not. If they get sewers down here and large-scale commercial developments down here, they're moving right up the coast, and don't think they're not. They've already begun to sink their teeth into the Trancas area. I mean, sure, it seems relatively benign, the plan they have up there, until you begin to look at the geologic hazard abatement district that is now Broad Beach, and the potential for sewers there. Sewers all over the Malibu West area. Sewers all over Point Dume if they get their way. You know, call me an alarmist, call me what you will, but I fear for the future of our community. I don't want it to turn into another Orange County beach town like Laguna or San Clemente. I mean, look at what happened to all the nice, quaint beach towns in San Diego. The mountains have been blotted out. Access to the ocean has been restricted everywhere. All you see are gates and Spanish tiles for miles and miles. And that's not the Southern California I want to live in. That's not the Malibu I want to live in. So, you know, to think that my only issue is the skate park is to really miss who I am as a resident of this community. You know, I see development as a huge issue because how can they possibly think of developing anything in this community when there is so much vacant retail space in our community as we speak, when there are so many businesses that fail in our community right now? And how can you build more commercial space when the PCH is absolutely a disaster? There's traffic, there's accidents, there's deaths. It's not a safe place. The PCH is the one common denominator we all share as a community. Everybody in Malibu has to deal with the PCH in one way or another. And for the resources of this community not to be dedicated on making this PCH one of the safest highway segments in the country is ridiculous. We have the money, we have the resources, and we have the community that needs to be protected. And I mean, I see a city council that constantly wants to shuffle the responsibility of the PCH onto Caltrans, which is responsible for the PCH ultimately, but it's up to the city council to have a really good relationship with Caltrans and get things done on the PCH. You know, our highway is a target for people who have our worst intentions in mind. And I see that with the commercial developers who really don't have a concern for how much traffic we have to sit in. And so, you know, just with that, you know, the PCH bumps into all sorts of issues. I love bike riders to be able to feel safe to freely bike ride around town. I wish I could, but I don't, because this PCH is deadly. I don't feel safe driving at night when I'm coming back from Santa Monica or the Valley, because, you know, there's plenty of drunk drivers on our highway, and I sure don't see a lot of cops out there in the middle of the night. I see DUI checkpoints at random times of the year where that don't make any sense to me. The community as a whole needs more protection from our city government and from the outlying state and federal agencies that claim jurisdiction here. And that's what it is. Our city council claims that the lagoon behind them is not their problem. It's the state park's land. Well, that's nonsense, because we're gonna have to pay the bill. We are gonna be paying into infinitum if they allow this project to go through, because nobody, absolutely nobody, seems to know what is gonna happen once this lagoon gets bulldozed. The toxic outflow into our ocean from them stirring up all this mud is encapsulating all sorts of toxic runoff. When these gas stations on the other side of me were in full operation before the environmental laws required them to switch their tanks out. Yeah, have we thought about that? Have we thought about that this lagoon has actually reached a healthy state? It's not the colony. The paperwork proves it. The science proves it. It is not the colony's leaking septic. In fact, the colony has some of the most state-of-the-art on-site wastewater treatment units going, man. So does Sarah Retreat. It's part of what goes on here in Malibu. People who live in Malibu love Malibu, but those people over there in the colony have no idea what the city is aiming at them as far as utilities go. You know, all these people are going to be paying and paying and paying for a sewer project and a lagoon restoration project that doesn't benefit them or any of us at all, man. We really need to wake up. There was a giant machine that has been doing its dirty work in Malibu City Hall for years and years now. We became a city to protect ourselves, but we let our guard down, and our city government has been infiltrated by those who do not have our best interest at heart. So a vote for me is a vote for change, and I know that is such a cliche because we just watched change turn into the same old on the federal level. But I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna sit here and promise you bubblegum day or Sadie Hawkins dances. I'm gonna go up there and make decisions from my heart, reading the information that comes across my desk. And that's the best I can do. I have no hidden agendas here. All I want to do is have Malibu be the best community it can be. I want Malibu to be as beautiful as it is today, 50 years from now. But if we don't protect Malibu right here, right now, with this election, and I'm telling you, it might already be too late. Nobody really seems to know what damage our city government has already done to the future of Malibu. But we need to wake up, people, man. This is our final chance to change the makeup of our city government. Andy Lyons knows what's going on here in the lagoon, and if you have any doubt about what Andy Lyons is saying, don't, man. He's got the facts, man. And you know, Skylar Peaks, one of our favorite sons, so let's get behind Skylar as well. I hope you vote for me, but I'm not here to win some contest to have a badge of honor or put a mark on my resume. No. I've decided to run for city government because I want to be of service to the community I love. I love Malibu. I love living here. And it's time for me to give back to a community that's given me so much. So like I keep saying, I'm going to be doing an in-depth video about the lagoon, about the Broad Beach area, about traffic safety, about the retail situation, about commercial development, but I felt that I needed to just jump in a little bit and let you know where I stand. I stand for stopping the destruction of Malibu, which seems to be full steam ahead right now. I hope you're with me because if we don't get in there and stop it now, we may be stuck with the community that we're gonna regret and we're not gonna wanna live in and we're not gonna wanna have our children live in. And that's what this is ultimately all about, is the kids. It's all about the kids, people. And that's why I got involved with the skate park issue. As a skateboarder, I can go skateboard anywhere I want. I have that kind of access. But when those young kids started contacting me and asking me to help them with their skate park, I felt it was my duty to jump in with both feet. So to pigeonhole me as a person who's only concerned about the skate park isn't right. The skate park is just what got me involved on a face-to-face level with our city government. And once I got in there and began to see how the skate park and our children were being leveraged, leveraged for sewer projects within our municipal area, I felt it was time to stand up, man. I am here to stand up for the people of Malibu. Be your voice. So, like I said, I'm usually going to be available at Starbucks during my lunch break from 12 to 1 o'clock. I'm usually around town. You can find me down at Zuma Beach a lot, Tower 4, at the Trancas Starbucks, at the Pavilion Starbucks. Just look for me. Feel free to approach me. And now let's talk this out, because the time for negative energy is over. The time between right, left, right, wrong, you versus me is over with me. I'm all about us and what we're gonna do to protect our community. Thank you. This is Hamish Patterson, candidate for Malibu City Council 2012.